Picture this. It's a sunny Saturday afternoon. A line of hungry customers stretches down the sidewalk. Music is playing. People are posting photos of your food on Instagram before they even take a bite. Every order comes through a little window. Cash keeps flowing in, and by the end of the day, you've sold out. No expensive restaurant lease. No giant dining room to clean. Just you, your truck, and a business that seems to print money wherever you park. It's one of the most attractive business ideas out there. You get to be your own boss. You can move to different locations whenever demand changes. If one neighborhood isn't working, you simply drive somewhere else. Compared to opening a restaurant that could cost $500,000 or more, a food truck feels like the affordable shortcut into the food business. But here's the reality that catches most people off guard. A single day of heavy rain can erase thousands of dollars in expected sales. One engine failure can cost over $5,000 to repair, while your business earns exactly zero during the downtime. And according to industry estimates, many new food trucks never make it past their first few years, not because people hated the food, but because the owners underestimated the economics of running a business on wheels. Because despite what it looks like, a food truck isn't really a food business. It's a logistics business wearing a kitchen on its back. Most people think success comes from making great food. Great food definitely helps. But thousands of talented chefs have discovered that incredible recipes don't automatically create profitable businesses. Your real job isn't cooking burgers, tacos, barbecue, coffee, or sandwiches. Your real job is managing inventory that spoils by the hour, predicting customer demand before it happens, finding high-traffic locations, navigating city regulations, maintaining a commercial vehicle, handling equipment failures, building a loyal audience online, and doing all of it while working inside a kitchen that's barely larger than a walk-in closet. Imagine trying to run a restaurant inside the back of a delivery van. Every inch matters. Every minute matters. Every ingredient matters. Because unlike a restaurant, you don't have extra storage. You don't have unlimited refrigeration. You don't have a dining room generating atmosphere. Everything depends on speed, efficiency, and keeping customers moving. The truck is simply the visible part. Behind it is a supply chain that starts before sunrise and often ends long after customers have gone home. A typical day doesn't begin when the first customer arrives. It begins hours earlier. You're driving to a commissary kitchen where many cities legally require food trucks to prepare, clean, and store food. You're loading fresh ingredients, checking propane tanks, filling water systems, testing refrigeration, making sure the generator works, checking tire pressure, reviewing event permits, verifying your payment system, and calculating how much inventory to bring. Bring too little, and you'll sell out early while customers walk away disappointed. Bring too much, and you're throwing away food that can no longer be sold tomorrow. Then comes the next challenge. Where do you park? A busy downtown office district might produce huge lunch crowds during weekdays, but become nearly empty by dinner. A festival could generate thousands of customers, or leave you competing against 30 other trucks selling nearly identical menus. Location isn't just important. It's often the difference between making $3,000 in a day or barely covering fuel costs. That's why experienced food truck owners spend almost as much time studying customer traffic as they do developing recipes. Now let's talk about the money. One of the biggest reasons people choose a food truck instead of a restaurant is the lower startup cost. And compared to opening a traditional restaurant, that's true. But cheaper doesn't mean cheap. Let's start with the lowest cost path. Suppose you buy a used food truck that's already built out with basic kitchen equipment. Depending on its age and condition, you're typically looking at somewhere between $40,000 and $70,000. That sounds manageable compared to a restaurant, until you realize the truck itself is only the beginning. You'll probably need additional equipment upgrades, refrigeration repairs, small appliances, fire suppression inspections, new signage, and branding before you ever serve your first customer. A realistic budget for improvements can easily add another $10,000 to $20,000. Now imagine you want something newer. A professionally built truck with modern equipment generally lands between $90,000 and $150,000. If you want a fully customized premium truck with specialized cooking equipment, advanced refrigeration, digital ordering systems, and a high-end exterior wrap designed to attract attention from across the street, costs can exceed $200,000 before you've sold a single meal. And the truck isn't your only expense. Commercial cooking equipment, including grills, fryers, refrigerators, freezers, prep tables, sinks, ventilation systems, and fire suppression equipment, can represent tens of thousands of dollars on their own if they aren't already installed. Then come permits and licenses. Health department permits, food handling certifications, business licenses, vehicle registration, fire inspections, parking permits, event permits. Depending on the city and state, getting legally approved to operate can cost anywhere from around $2,000 to well over $10,000 in your first year alone. Now it's time to buy food. Your opening inventory of meat, vegetables, bread, sauces, beverages, packaging, disposable utensils, napkins, and cleaning supplies can easily require another $3,000 to $8,000 before opening day. Customers also judge your truck long before they taste your food. A professionally designed vehicle wrap, logo, menu boards, uniforms, and branding materials often add another $5,000 to $15,000. Then comes insurance. Unlike a normal vehicle, a food truck needs commercial auto insurance, general liability coverage, and often product liability insurance as well. Annual premiums commonly range from about $3,000 to $8,000 depending on location, coverage, and driving history. And remember, your kitchen needs electricity. Many food trucks rely on commercial generators that can cost anywhere from $3,000 to over $10,000 depending on their size and output. Others invest in battery systems or shore power equipment for certain locations. Finally, you need a way to take payments. Modern customers expect to tap a card or pay with their phone. A complete point-of-sale system with tablets, receipt printers, cash drawers, and payment processing equipment usually adds another $1,000 to $3,000, plus transaction fees on every sale. By the time everything is added together, even using conservative numbers, many new owners discover that their affordable food truck business requires an investment that approaches six figures before the first customer ever places an order. And that's only the beginning. Because some of the most expensive parts of owning a food truck aren't the costs you see before opening. They're the ones that quietly show up every single week after the business is already running. They're the expenses that never appear in flashy YouTube videos about starting a food truck for cheap. Take the commissary kitchen, for example. In many cities, food trucks are legally required to operate out of a licensed commissary. That's where you prep food, wash equipment, dispose of wastewater, refill fresh water, and store inventory. Think of it as your invisible headquarters. The problem is, it isn't free. Depending on your city and the services included, commissary fees typically range from $500 to over $2,000 per month. That's thousands of dollars every year before you've sold a single taco or burger. Then there are parking and location fees. A great location can make your day, but great locations usually know they're valuable. Private property owners may charge $50 to $200 per day just for the right to park. Premium festivals often require booth fees ranging from $300 to well over $1,500 for a weekend event. Some major food festivals charge even more. And here's the catch. You're paying those fees before you know how many customers will actually show up. If heavy rain keeps people home, that money is already gone. Fuel is another expense people underestimate. You're not just driving a commercial vehicle that weighs several tons. You're also running a generator for hours at a time to power refrigerators, lights, freezers, ventilation systems, and cooking equipment. Depending on the generator size and fuel prices, it's not unusual to spend $30 to over $100 a day on generator fuel alone. Add vehicle fuel, and busy operators can easily spend several $100s every week just keeping the truck moving and powered. Maintenance is another silent profit killer. Unlike a restaurant, your kitchen literally drives down the highway. That means you're maintaining both a commercial kitchen and a commercial vehicle at the same time. Oil changes, brake repairs, transmission issues, refrigeration failures, generator servicing, fire suppression inspections, tire replacements. A single unexpected breakdown can easily cost $3,000 to $10,000. And while the truck is sitting in a repair shop, it's making exactly $0. Now let's look at what the business costs every month once it's actually operating. The largest expense is usually food itself. Known as cost of goods sold, or COGS, ingredients typically consume around 28% to 35% of revenue. depending on your menu. If your truck generates $400,000 in annual sales, roughly $120,000 to $140,000 may disappear into meat, vegetables, bread, dairy, sauces, drinks, packaging, and disposable supplies. Then comes labor. Even if you're working every shift yourself, most successful food trucks eventually need employees. Labor commonly accounts for another 20% to 30% of revenue. On that same $400,000 in sales, payroll could easily exceed $90,000 every year. Fuel, both for driving and generators, often eats another 3% to 6% of revenue. Commissary kitchen costs generally represent around 2% to 5%. Insurance usually falls around 1% to 3%. Maintenance and repairs average another 2% to 4%, although one major breakdown can make that number much higher. Marketing, payment processing fees, permits, software subscriptions, accounting, and license renewals quietly absorb another 5% to 8% combined. When you stack everything together, something surprising happens. More than 90 cents of every dollar customers spend is often spoken for before the owner ever sees a profit. And then comes the expense almost nobody plans for: food waste. Unlike clothing stores that can sell inventory next month, or hardware stores that can keep products on shelves for years, food expires. Fresh produce wilts. Bread goes stale. Cooked meat reaches food safety limits. Sauces have expiration dates. Every day becomes a guessing game. Order too little, and you lose customers because you've sold out. Order too much, and you're throwing money directly into the trash. Many well-run food trucks still lose 3% to 8% of food inventory through spoilage, preparation mistakes, or unsold perishables. Imagine purchasing $130,000 worth of ingredients in a year. A 5% waste rate means you've thrown away $6,500 worth of perfectly good food before earning a single dollar from it. And food isn't the only thing weather can destroy. Let's say you've paid $1,000 to participate in a weekend festival. You've stocked thousands of dollars in inventory. You've scheduled staff. Then severe storms roll in. Attendance drops by half. Sales collapse. The event ends early. Your inventory expires. You still owe your employees. You still paid the event fee. You still burned fuel getting there. One bad weekend can erase the profit from several good ones. That's why experienced owners don't measure success by their busiest days. They measure success by how well they survive their worst ones.